This is the story of a tigress who is starving hungry and pregnant. And she comes upon a little flock of goats, and in pouncing on them violently, brings on the birth of her little one and her own death. She overdid it. The goats scatter and come back to their grazing ground. And when they come back, they find this just-born little tiger and its dead mother. Now, they have very strong parental instincts, so they adopt the little tiger, who grows up thinking he's a goat. He learns to eat grass, but he doesn't do very well with it because his teeth are the wrong kind and for chewing, and his stomach can't digest all the cellulose. So he grows up to be a pretty miserable specimen of his kind. When he reaches adolescence, a great male tiger pounces on the little flock, and again the goats scatter. But this little fellow isn't a goat, he's a tiger, so he's standing there. The big fellow looks at him. He says, "What? You living here with these goats?" "Meh," says the tiger. Well, the big fellow is mortified, like a father coming home finding his son with long hair. He slaps him back and forth a couple of times. The little one bleats in a silly way and nibbles grass in embarrassment. Big fellow takes him by the neck and carries him to a pond. But the water is perfectly still. The little one looks in, and for the first time sees his own true face. The big one says, "You see, you don't have the face of a goat. You have the face of a tiger. Your face is like mine. You're like me. Be like me." That's this guru stuff. I'll give you my picture to wear. So he takes him up next and carries him to his den, and there are the remains of a recently slaughtered gazelle. Big fella takes a chunk of this bloody stuff and he says, "Open your face." The little one backs away. He says, "I'm a vegetarian." "Well," said the big one, "none of this nonsense." So he shoves it down his throat, and he gags on it. And the text says, "As all do on true doctrine," so gagging on the true doctrine, he's nevertheless getting it. And it gets into his bloodstream, and it gets into his nerves, and his proper nature, now fed by its proper food, he gives a little tiger stretch. And out of his little mouth comes the little tiger roar, sort of Tiger Roar 101. And the big one says, "Okay, now we go into the forest and we eat tiger food." Now the lesson is clear, namely, we're all tigers living here as goats. And the function of the sociologist is to cultivate our goat nature and keep us aware of it. The function of meditation and such symbology as I've been showing you here is to introduce us to our tiger face. Now, however, we have a problem. We're tigers. How do we live as goats? Jesus said, "Don't throw your pearls before swine, lest trampling them underfoot they turn on you." And he found out about that. And so did Halaj, who was crucified also, because he too said, "I and the Father are one." So what are you going to do? You don't want to get crucified yet. The mystics, the Sufis, after the death of Halaj, got the message. Wear the outer garment of the law. Behave like everybody else. Obey the moral order. Agree, good is good and evil is evil, and so forth. But inwardly, you wear the inner garment of the mystic way. And so, you keep your wisdom to yourself and to those who are ready to hear it. And you move in the world, as the Buddhists say, with joyous participation in the sorrows of the world. So, I know that you will now go forth to experience with joy the sorrows of your lives.